Hello there. This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? In today's calming, quiet ASMR map video, we are going to be flicking through this atlas of Europe. It's a road atlas specifically, hence the emphasis on all of the main roads. And what we'll do when we're here is we'll talk about the different areas and any sort of little facts I can think of. I'll mention them. I'll talk about my travels. So stick around if you're interested in geography, if you like soft spoken ASMR with a little bit of whispering. If you like to listen to someone talk about their travels abroad, and you want to learn something new about the world. And so far there are 40,000 of you that all meet that criteria, so welcome if you're new to the channel. I hope you enjoy the video. The page I've stopped on is an interesting one, particularly for Italians, but also for the Italian diaspora, of whom many have gone to the United States, because this is the island of Sicily. In Italian we say Sicilia. Palermo is the sort of capital, if you will, unofficially, or largest city, but we also have Messina, Catania, Siracusa, Agrigento, Marsala, Trapani. Catania is here. It's also quite a large city. I think quite a lot of the American diaspora come from Sicily. And we've spoken about it before, and I certainly have spoken about it on my other channel, the ASMR Italian channel that I do. If you speak Italian, then check that out, because we do map videos in Italian. And there's a little bridge, no, sorry, there's no bridge there, famously, for many different reasons, but there are boats that go across every day. I think it's one of the busiest ports in Italy, certainly in Italy, between Messina and, is it, I can't see which one it is, but it's not Reggio di Calabria. Perhaps they do go that way as well. But this strait here is very, very busy with boats. There's no tunnel, there's no bridge. They still have to go by boat to get from the mainland. This is the bottom of the boot. See, Reggio di Calabria. Okay, do you know where we are? Yeah. The A stands for Austria. The D for Germany, Deutschland. The I for Italy, Italia. And the CH is the international symbol for Switzerland, which might surprise some people. I can't actually think of why off the top of my head it's CH. Switzerland, Schweiz, Swiss, Svizzera. Someone tell me in the comments. I've forgotten why it's CH. Something to do with its history. Although that would be an H with a Helvetic. This section, which is mostly in purple with green sections around, in case you don't know, is the Alps. So it's very elevated. We can see on the Austrian side Innsbruck, beautiful city with the stunning backdrop of the Alps all around. In Germany was the largest. We're just a little bit out of Munich's sight. But yeah, Innsbruck is here. And then within Italy we have Bolzano here. Tyrol is the section in Austria. I believe it's Südtirol in Italy actually. Toblach, which looks like a German word, but this is within the borders of Italy. And there's a sort of section over here with Switzerland, on the border with Switzerland as well, where there's a certain section of Switzerland that speaks Italian. And if we look over this side, so over Austria here, Salzburg, just at a shot there it is, Salzburg, another beautiful city. Austrian cities are generally beautiful. But to the south here we have another border, and this one is with Slovenia. Ljubljana is here. Stunning place. I've been there once. I really want to go back. Further up here you would see Lake Bled, which is one of the more popular tourist locations. But Slovenia does have a tiny strip of land which gets to the sea. So we can see this section here. We've got obviously the very famous Venezia here. And Trieste is here. But this is the border, so this track it, so it goes round. That's the motorway. Here, and then it cuts off. So this section here is Slovenia. So it's got a little bit of the sea access. And a place called Koper is here. And they still have Italian as an official language there. All the signs are written in Slovenian and Italian. And I didn't watch it, but YouTube recommended a video. It was the lost Latin language, and there was a language here which is very similar to modern Italian. Probably based on the Venetian dialect, because Venice, or Veneto, had a lot of this section here along the coast, including Rijeka in Croatia. This is HR for Hrvatska, Croatia. So yeah, from here down is Croatia. So a lot of this used to speak the Venetian dialect. I say dialect. For some reason all of the Italian dialects have this word dialect in them, but they're not. They're all different languages. And on the next page we see southwest Germany, so we can see Stuttgart is here. You can't see it on this map, but it's surrounded by beautiful woodland. Nuremberg is over here. And München, which we spoke about, which is just above the Austrian border. this is the border. You can just see it. I'll slide the book over. It's worth noting. So Mannheim and Frankfurt, just out of shot. Up here, there we are, at Mainz. On the river Main, so Mainz, Frankfurt am Main, and Offenbach am Main. So the name of the river is Main. Darmstadt is there. And we're really close to the French border, or at least the revised French border after World War II. So here it is. And we can see the area here with Strasbourg. Strasbourg and many of the other places that still have German names. Bischheim, for example. Oh no, yes, Bischheim is over the border. And which one's this? I can't read it, but it's something like Lingolsheim. Obernai. These are not French words at all. Bischwiller. This area was part of Germany until the reshaped borders of World War II. And this is the north of Germany, and we can just see the Netherlands creeping in over here. If we went any further, we'd see Groningen. I didn't realise that because I grew up calling it Holland. So a couple of weeks ago I actually looked it up and I realised that it actually was referred to in English as Holland up until about late 90s, maybe even early 2000. There was a campaign to call it the Netherlands, because within the Netherlands, Holland is where Amsterdam is. There's North Holland and South Holland, Noord-Holland, Zuid-Holland. And it's kind of like calling America Washington or something. It's like just an area of the country. And so there was a sort of change of tact internationally to consider not calling it Holland. In many languages it is still Holland, and is commonly called that, as is the language, which is often related to the word for Holland, so Hollandais, Hollandisch, in Spanish, for example. But yes, there are emerging words in each language to consider this different concept of the lowlands is often called. We call it the Netherlands, but it's very often called the lowlands, los Países Bajos, in Spanish, for example, les Pays-Bas in French. And nearly but not quite, oh yeah, there's a tiny sliver of the border here. So this is the sort of neck of Germany. Schwanzen here. Kiel is here. And we can see Denmark. So this is one of the islands of Denmark, DK, Denmark. And we can just see a little bit of it coming through here in the mainland. So you have the mainland, which is Jylland. And then Zeeland, which is the islands. And now we can see the tip of Denmark, of the mainland, Zeeland, Jylland, where we see Aalborg, Hobro is there, Immerland, Vendsyssel, Mors, Sally. You can see there's lots of water here. It's incredibly low, just like the Netherlands. And actually, there's barely even hills in Denmark. It's so flat. There are no mountains. And similar to the Netherlands, there's lots of canals. And it's very, very convenient to use a bicycle to get around. just see its little Nordic brothers and sisters to the north here. So to the northwest we have Norway, and to the northeast we've got Sweden. In fact, for Sweden, we can see Göteborg. In English we sort of call it Gothenburg. Göteborg is the second city of Sweden after the capital Stockholm, which is on this west coast. Again, lots of inland lakes and waterways. Lots of people own boats in Sweden. I think in Sweden and Finland the waterways are very, very traversable and many people get around by boat in a local concept. You can just see the border with Norge, Norway, and it goes up and down. Kristiansand is here, but where it goes up out of sight is the capital of Oslo, which is in a fjord. Very rugged coastline either side, you can see lots of islands. On the contrary to Denmark, Norway particularly is very mountainous. And actually this is the north of Norway now we're looking at, I believe. Jotunheimen. Sunnmøre. I'm trying to look for a big city. There aren't. Älesund I've heard of. So this little bit, this key, says that we are actually not north at all, we're just on the west coast. Bergen is just here, Bergen. Because we're not even far. Norway from end to end is enormous. And there's that fun fact that I've mentioned a couple of times on this channel, that when you measure coastline, usually you measure it from A to B, but if you were to include every inch of the coastline, because it goes in and out and in and out, all these fjords everywhere, then Norway would have the second longest coastline in the world after Canada, because of the intricacies of its geography and all of the fjords that we've got here. I've never been, and I really want to go. It looks incredible when I've looked at it on Google Maps. Ooh, okay, we're in Latvia now. So LV for Latvia, LT for Lithuania. So Lithuania, we can see the border here. Klaipėda. Šiauliai. Panevėžys. So the capital is a little bit to the south, I believe. Fun fact. This is Russia. Because Russia has an exclave of Kaliningrad, which is where Prussia used to be. And again, after the Second World War, the Russian Federation removed all of the German-speaking locals and moved in from mainland Russia, which is miles over there, at least 2 countries between here, the exclave, and Russia. You either have to go through, let me think, Lithuania and Belarus to get to Russia, or you have to go through Poland and Belarus. So you have to go through at least 2 countries to get there. But it has a port, strategically of course, that is ice-free all year round, whereas St. Petersburg is way up north and gets too much ice to launch any ships. And this is, as we said, Latvia. Riga is the capital, and that's here. We can also see Jurmala. I've never been up here, so I don't know about this area too much. I've heard of this city though, Daugavpils. I read somewhere that Lithuanian and Latvian are two of the oldest languages in Europe. Obviously Basque is the oldest, and it's not even a European language, we just don't know anything about it. Its grammar is more similar to Japanese than it is to any European languages. But in terms of the original groups of Europeans, as we'll say in European language terms, these two have very old languages. They're similar, they're not mutually understandable, intelligible, but they are related. And they have grammar and vocabulary which is more similar to Hindi than it is to, say, French. Oh yes, here's Kaliningrad a bit more. Kaliningrad. So this is the ice-free natural port. And we can see it here on the border with Lithuania and with Poland, which we're going to look at on the next page. Because this is the north now, so Kaliningrad is here, look. And now Poland's got a funny history after World War II. The entire country moved to the west. So it has changed shape many, many times in history, for many reasons. But yes, they took some of the land from the German border, and some of their land was given up to Belarus and Ukraine, because at certain points Poland has either been tiny. I once saw a version of Poland that had almost no coastline at all. It was just down here. Or would have been absolutely massive, like the Poland-Lithuanian Empire. Poland's got an absolutely incredibly complicated history. But modern-day Poland has this beautiful coastline here, with Gdansk on the coast, Gdynia, Słupsk, Koszalin, and we can see further down we have Płock, Włocławek, Bydgoszcz, Toruń, and Poznań. And if we go further south, this is to the north Poland. We can see Kraków here, and this therefore, this purple line is obviously the border. This is the Czech Republic, known now as Czechia. Olomouc is here, Ostrava, Brno, and a bit further to the west is Prague, the capital, Praha. Therefore we can see Slovakia. So this is the southern border of Poland. This part here is Slovakia. And there was a time where Czechia and Slovakia merged to make one country, which was called Czechoslovakia. But as far as I know, it was a very, very peaceful parting. They just decided to call it quits. I've been to the Czech Republic. I went to Prague many years ago. It's a really pretty place, actually. There was something called when they had the revolution to leave the Soviet bloc. I can't remember the term. Hang on, I'm going to check it out. I was right. It was the Velvet Revolution. So the Velvet Revolution was a non-violent separation of Czechoslovakia into Czechia and Slovakia. The two languages are mutually intelligible, but they are different. The spelling is a little bit different and some individual words, but the vast majority can be understood by either part. And I still think they have very good relations. So it says the Velvet Revolution, or Gentle Revolution, was a non-violent transition of power in what was then Czechoslovakia, occurring from the 17th of November to the 28th of November 1989. You can just see Vienna, Wien, of Austria, and Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia. And now we are down south. We're looking at Croatia again, in its C shape. It has this shape. Hrvatska, this was Slovenia, then we had Italy up there. Lots of islands, beautiful islands. Rijeka is on the coast, there's one large urban area, as is Split. They've become a little bit touristy, unfortunately, and really, really expensive nowadays. I remember when people started talking about them and it was like much cheaper, whereas now they're so en vogue that it's become very, very expensive, and obviously very expensive for the locals as well. And the C shape goes around the country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is BIH. So Banja Luka is there. And we can see the capital, Sarajevo, here. The fact that I always remember about Bosnia is that it's the only country in Europe to have a rainforest. And you might think, oh, surely it's not got enough rain. Well, poor old Montenegro, which is just to the south of it, has the largest rainfall of any place in Europe. So yes, there is a lot of rain there. We've just popped over the border from Bosnia and Croatia. Osijek is just there. So this is Croatia's border, this is Bosnia's border, and this is Serbia. We can see Novi Sad, we can see Belgrade, Beograd, which is in the confluence of two major rivers that come into the city, including the Danube, which flow through the vast majority of Europe. And then we have got to the north, we just see sneaking into view Hungary, Magyar, with Szeged here, and then the rest of this massive expanse over here is the very large country of Romania. In Romanian I think it's Romania, and Timișoara is here. We can also see Brasov on the next page, still, as I say, very large country. I can't see that word, Ramnico Vlčia. Bucharest, the capital, is here, largest city. Buzen is there, Brasov. Here's Montenegro. So we talked about Sarajevo, just there, and then I said about it having a rainforest, and then this country here, Montenegro. Beautiful coastline. Podgorica. I think Podgorica translates as something like under the mountain, and Montenegro is Latin for black mountain, Monte Negro. So yeah, it's one of the areas here has the most rainfall of any place in Europe. Here we can see Albania. Albania is this country here, capital Tirana. Coastline's there. And then we see North Macedonia, MK, Kostivar, Pitola. And then Bulgaria. We haven't seen too much of Bulgaria, but Bulgaria is just over here. Before we see this country here, very important in the history of mankind, this is Greece, Hellas. Jelava. And this is the northern part of Thessaloniki, is here, the second largest city. Larissa is here. But keep going a little bit, we can see Turkey popping into view over here, look. Its tiny strip of land on the European continent, the rest being on the Asian continent. And here it is again, this part here, the very fascinating concept that not only is it a transcontinental country, but because Istanbul is also on this strait of land, you have the European part and the Asian part, so Istanbul is a transcontinental city, which is extremely uncommon. I can't think of any others. You do have other transcontinental countries. Russia is one, Egypt is another, Panama is one, potentially, although some people argue that the Americas are all one continent, and I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Maybe Kazakhstan. And there. So we'll stop there, because we've reached the edge of Europe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you didn't mind my ramblings. Of course, if you did enjoy this video, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either just watch it again and fall asleep. You can watch this other video which I'm about to put up here. You can click like. You can comment. You can subscribe if you're new. And if you're not new and you absolutely love the videos that I do and you want me to buy nice new material for the channel, then you can support me on Patreon, and for it I'll do 2 extra videos every month that no one else but you gets to see. For now, here's the video. Good night everyone, take care, thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye bye.